We're going to do a deep, today we're going to really take you into what melanin does, the breakdown of melanin scientifically. So I showed you guys the website of how they're studying our melanocyte, our melanin cell. I showed you that website, the scientific website, but I wasn't able to take you in on it. So now I have the book next to me. I know where all of the information is. So now we're going to go through that website. I'm going to show you the properties of melanin that they found and that they're trying to hide from you. And this goes all the way back to 1904. This is when they started doing melanin research. But we're gonna start off with Kemet first and what they understood about our melanin and as well as our third eye, which is why we were equated to being a dragon.
Melanin's role is, in fact, even being rethought in medicine. That, is it really something that just absorbs sunlight, or does melanin have a role in the immune system in the body? And is it really more of an antimicrobial kind of defense against bacteria? Because melanin is found throughout all the animal and vegetable kingdom. And melanin, you can think of, is very analogous to the chlorophyll. That's the green stuff in plants. What makes the plants green? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the same molecule as hemoglobin that's in your blood, except hemoglobin has iron in the center and chlorophyll has magnesium in the center. It's like liquid green blood, okay? Now, melanin has the same kind of ring structures and so on, and it makes very complex structures, and not all melanins are the same, as we'll talk about in a minute. In fact, there's somebody even studying that and wondering whether energy is directly absorbed from the melanin in your skin and transformed into energy in your body. So it absorbs thousands of times more electromagnetic radiation actually than chlorophyll does.
This evening we're going to talk about something called melanin. It's what everyone is concerned about in the world. It's what they have a meeting about every 3 to 5 years. Germany, Italy, France, the US, they meet every 3 to 5 years and have a melanin convention and discuss the latest research in melanin.
That's called the International Federation of Pigment Cell Societies. I need to write that down and study it. International Federation of Pigment Cell Societies.
The International Federation of Pigment Cell Societies.
Mm-hmm. They come together every 3 years, and you should look for them in your town. It's only $500 to go. You get $500, you can slide on up in there.
They have never invited a black scientist to that meeting in history. So we've had our own melanin conferences where we discuss this information involving melanin. Melanin is commonly associated with the pigment that causes your skin to be brown. So we figure that that's what melanin is about. But it's a little more than just the pigment that makes your skin brown. It's what we call a chemical key to life. The more melanin you have, the more civilized you are. The more melanin you have, the more psychic you are. The more melanin you have, the more information your brain can store. The more melanin you have, the faster the nerve transmissions are. Melanin is the chemical key to life. There is nothing else to study in science but melanin.
Black was the color of carbon, the key atom found in all living matter of our world. Carbon atoms linked together to form black melanin, the first chemical that could capture light and reproduce itself. The chemical key of life. And the brain itself, the chemical key to life. And the brain itself found to be centered around the black neuromelanin, inner vision, intuition, creative genius, and spiritual illumination were all found to be dependent upon the pineal gland's blood-borne chemical messengers that control skin color. Black dot was found to be the hidden doorway to universal knowledge of the past, present, and future. Melanin blackness studies at least 300,000 years. The black dot, the hidden doorway through which the transforming soul energy of Uraeus passes. Uraeus is the symbol of the transforming energy for the soul. The 7 levels of consciousness through which the black brain, spinal cord, endocrine relationship lies. I'm an anatomist, hematologist, microbiologist for many years, etc. And went to medical school, and I looked at many cadavers in the head area where we do a montage of the sectioning of the brain, and the deeper we get into the brain, the more melanin we see, except in Caucasian bodies that we use, you don't see as much.
If you go watch this documentary, in the first one, which is pretty dope, it's going to show you, it's going to break down how Pythagoras and all of them got their science from Kemet, from Egypt. And it's going to show you in the temples how the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio is throughout the temples. And so basically how they built the temples was they built it so that they left enough they left room for each pharaoh that comes after them to build on it, to add to it, so that they wouldn't have to take from it. They were just able to add to its glory. And so building up from the ancestry on up. So you never lost anything. It was all just added upon. That's some ill shit. Like, it's some crazy ass ill science. That a pharaoh could come in because of the science that this temple was built on. He could perfectly incorporate himself into the temple and express a physical expression of who he was, his energy at that time, without harming or interfering with anyone else's expression of their energy and nature at that time. That's an ill fucking science.
Right.